Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome back for the Season 3 review. We're just going to run over how the season's gone, look at some statistics and see where it leaves us going into Season 4. So as you can see on the table on the left hand side, we have finished in 7th place. Our third season on the series and our first season of the Premiership, we finished in the Europa League position. 3 points clearing in of West Ham and an amazing 21 points behind the top 6. The top 6 really does look like a difficult group of teams to try and break into, but I think that is brilliant. That's exactly how it is in real life, isn't it? The top 6 teams are just breaking away from the rest of the pack. That is our challenge now. We've made 7th place. Can we continue that? Keep making Europe? Can we then break into the top 6? Breaking the top 6, I'd imagine, is going to take a lot of hard work. We have to pay a lot of attention to our finances, keep our finances in tip top, and keep improving our infrastructure, especially the stadium, which is something they have done at the end of this season, which we'll get into in a second. But as you can see, we have finished 7th place. Relegated from the Premiership this year are Burnley, Everton and Norwich finished bottom of the league. Haha, get in there. See that, Norwich, you absolute scumbags. So if we go down to the Championship, we can see who is coming up to the Premiership next season. If we just flick to the league table, we can see that Sheffield United and Leeds United won automatic promotion and Brentford won through the playoffs, with Reading, Southampton and West Brom losing the playoffs. So Sheffield United, Leeds United and Brentford will be playing in the Premiership next season. If we go back to the Premiership, we can just have a quick look at the player stats here. Aubameyang finished top scorer, 23 goals. Harry Kane, 21 goals, finished second. Average rating, dominated by United players, Diogo Dalot and Paul Pogba with their top average ratings. Assists, Lingard finished with 14 and Lozano finished with 13. Player of the matches, Davinson Sanchez finished with 5, joint with Jonas Hector from Manchester City. Clean sheets, Ederson finished with 21 clean sheets. That was a fantastic achievement. And David Hale got 19. Top yellow cards, Kante got 12 yellow cards. If we just go on to the team overview, we have a quick look at some of the statistics here. Don't think there's anything really to shout about. We come 7th in the goals scored, just behind the top 6, which makes sense as that's what we finished in the table. Most crosses, most headers, come 8th place, 62% of headers won, only 1% on the top team Wolves, which is good considering we aren't particularly the most tallest team in the league. Passes completed, we're not in the top 8. Best average possession, we finished 4th, 53%, ahead of the likes of Arsenal, United and Chelsea, which is great. Most fouls made, we always in this list, don't we? Most fouls made, 494 fouls, 20 fouls short of the dirtiest team, Newcastle. Most tackles won, not to be seen. Most clean sheets, not to be seen. Least conceded, not to be seen. We look down the bottom here, we can see that goals from corners we have scored the second most goals from corners, 16, which is brilliant. Yellow cards, we have got the most yellow cards in the league, 85. Headers won, 1,919, second place in the league as far as that goes. If we have a look at the player overview here, we can have a flick through the different statistics here. Top scorers, none of our players to be seen. Key passes, Andre Lozelle made this top 8 with 42 key passes. He's done very, very well this year in the end. I think once we found this new tactic we want to use, I think it's benefited Andre Lozelle a lot more, I believe. The most assists, we aren't anywhere to be seen. Most dribbles, no players. Most distance, over 90 minutes, no players featuring that list. No fit players featuring those tackles. Key tackles, Van Dijk was 34, but none of our players featuring. Least conceded, again, no players featuring that, and more in the clean sheets. Down the bottom here, we've got a few players that are featuring. You can see interceptions made. Jack Watmore has made 132 interceptions, 3rd place in the players list there. But mistakes leading to goals, Jack Watmore's made 3, leading 2nd in the list, which bit of give and take there. I suppose he's done well this year, but again, mistakes. I've got a feeling those mistakes might have been made towards the beginning of the season, so we might be able to let him off there. So over Ipswich Town overall best 11, there have been a few players selected to go into the overall best 11 this year. Pietro Pellegrini was one of the 3 players. The striker accumulated 35 appearances, scored 9 goals for the club with an average rating of 6.76. He is on the best 11 bench. Ben Davies and Freddie Woodman also been selected to become part of the overall 11. Again, both players on the bench. I'm sure will break into the first team next year as they will continue to feature in the first squad next season. End of season awards, Herbie Kane won the Fans' Player of the Year with 47% of the vote, Andre Dazelle behind with 23% and Fulham with 18%. Fulham didn't feature as much this season, he didn't play at scored many goals, but I'm sure next year he will find his way back to form. Goal of the season went to Conrad Lamar, played brilliant on loan, and of course we have signed him permanently for next season. Signing of the season, Freddie Woodman, £86,000, and he has been a fantastic player for us this year. Has ended up being our first team goalkeeper. It's now worth $6 million, 24 years old, room for improvement, got high hopes for Freddie Woodman. Young player of the season, Herbie Kane. Brilliant player. I've said it in one of my episodes prior to this. He is brilliant. If you're starting out, he's a player you should really try and snap up as soon as you can. He's available very cheap. £700,000 I paid for him in the first year, and he has come on to be a £15 million rated player. Still got a little bit more room for improvement. What a player for you guys if you want to sign him. As far as stats go, Ben Fulham finished our top scorer with 10 goals. Highest average rating went to Herbie Kane with 7.09. Most assists, Andre Dazelle with 9. Best pass completion, Herbie Kane 84%. Most player of the month awards, Herbie Kane with 3. Most yellow cards, Herbie Kane yellow, and most red cards, Ben Fulham with 1. As we can see here, it's just a quick season review that the Foot Manager game leaves you with. Ipswich Town had been expected to struggle for much of the season and find themselves entrenched at the bottom of the standings, but fared much better than many would have thought possible and secured an unlikely continental qualification spot. Ipswich were one of the competition's prize packages, consistently defying expectations, and owing largely to an impressive spell of form between August and September that saw them rise to 12th, were able to celebrate a successful campaign. We finished 7th for league, as we've seen. In the FA Cup we got knocked out by Liverpool in the 3rd round, and in the Carabao Cup we got knocked out in the 2nd round to Watford. It wasn't a major concern to me because I wanted to concentrate solely on the Premiership to have a good year, make sure we stay up. Match of the season was selected as Ipswich Town's 4-2 home win over West Ham, and the moment to forget was of course that 5-0 drubbing against QPR at the beginning of the season. It was an horrific game. Yeah, it is definitely a moment to forget. Average attendance was 26,314, 99% full. I'm not sure what's going on here. When you start the game, Ipswich Town's stadium is 30,311. I think when we got promoted we had to have undersoil heating installed, which I think was something to do with the ground being temporarily reduced, but it seems like it's been permanently reduced. We have expanded the stadium for next season, which we'll see in a second, but 99% full is brilliant. And total players used, 32, becomes 2nd in the league for total players used, which I guess it is what it is. I don't pay too much attention to that. We've played a few youngsters, so that's good for us. So I think this was end of last season. I asked the board to purchase the stadium, and the board have now announced that the paperwork has been completed and the club now own the stadium, which is fantastic news for the club. Portland Road in Ipswich was built in 1884 before later being rebuilt in 2002. The All-Seater Stadium, which boasts undersoil heating, has room for 26,371 supporters with the potential to be expanded to a capacity of 37,500. The pitch was last relayed in July. So end of the season, of course, it does come to board requests once again. We have asked for the youth and training facilities to be upgraded, which they did refuse at first, but then I said I don't like your lack of ambition, which changed their minds, which is brilliant. So it is expected that the ground improvement will take 5 months to complete. Also, the junior coaching budget has been increased. I believe this should now be our final level we should be increasing to, which means we don't have to do this anymore, which is brilliant for the club. Youth recruitment, we've also asked for improved. Again, I think this should be the last time we have to do this. And we also asked for the stadium to be expanded after becoming owners of the stadium. It's something we could do more easily, and especially with the finances being in such a healthy position. So I'm pleased to announce that the plans are afoot to expand our stadium. The planned expansion, subject to approval, will increase the stadium capacity to a provisional capacity of 29,113 and will cost in the region of $7.5 million. The construction work will begin in the season. It's currently scheduled to be completed by the 6th of the 9th, 2021. So basically, the beginning of the next season, this work should be completed. If we just go to the board here, we can see all our different requests. Beginning of October, the youth and training facility should be completed, and as we just said, at the beginning of September, the stadium should be expanded to nearly 30,000 again, which is fantastic news. Finances, the end of the season, we finished on 25.6 million, transfer budget of 53.1, with a projection of 20 or 34 million by the end of next season, and 51 by the end of the following season. This is all subject to change. We've still got obviously new sponsorships come on the end of the season for Making Europe, and of course player ins and player outs. I expect to bring a few players in. I don't want to spend too much money but I do want to improve the squad just to give a bit more depth, as we will be fighting on 2 fronts next year. Of course, the Premier League and Europe. FA Cup and the Carabao Cup I'll probably still use as a Mickey Mouse Cups, really, do you know what I mean? Premiership, of course, is our main concern, but I would like to give the Europa League a good go. Here we have our list of players this year. I've put them currently in appearance order. I will just flick through different stats, put them in order so you can see exactly how the team is shaping up so far. Jack Watmore made the most appearances with 34 appearances. As far as goals are concerned, Fulani finished top scorer with 10. And we also had Pellegrini finish with 9. As far as assists go, Dazelle made the most assists with 9. Empis done brilliant on the left hand side with 6 assists. As far as player of the match awards go, we've already seen Herbie Kane won that with 3. Average rating Herbie Kane and Lamar and Freddie Woodman, the only players to make at least a 7 rating over the course of the season. As far as value goes, Herbie Kane is our most valuable player, 13.7 million, which is brilliant. 13.5 million is what Dylan Fulham is now worth. 10 million for Ben Davies. Of course, Pellegrini and Diaz are not our players, and we have not got no plans to sign them as we cannot afford them. They are worth 9 and 8 million respectively. Empis, a player we were signed for free, is now worth 8 million. Tristan Nydam has done very well this year and is now worth 8 million as well. Whereas Fernando Fonseca, again another player we signed for free, is now worth 8 million. Brilliant. So at the end of season 3, let's just have a quick look at my manager's profile. Of course, we've been manager of 1 club. Longest time at the club, 1,066 days. Is how long we've been at Ipswich for now. We've won 2 awards at the club. I think 1 was a manager of the month and 1 was a manager of the year. Total career owners, 2.3 million. No days on holiday. We've played every single day. Players bought 18 players, coming to a total of 15.75 million. And we've sold 19 players, coming to 17.5 million. Highest fee spent was 6 million on Ben Davies beginning this season. Highest fee received was 4.4 million for Emir Hughes. As far as our stats go, games played, we've now played or managed 146 games. We've won 63 of those, drawn 34, won, lost 49. We've scored 217 goals, conceded 186 with a goal difference of 31 and a win percentage of 43%. We haven't won any cups or leagues yet, but we have won 1 league promotion and of course no relegations. So going into next season, we are going to need some strengthening. Of course, we're losing a couple of loan players. And we have already permanently signed Conrad Lamar and Timothy Castagni. I feel like we do need a little bit more help up front. We have got 2 strikers already signed, which are Johnny end of the year. I think that might be 3 strikers actually, if I remember rightly. Let's go to transfers and just quickly check transfers coming in. So we've got Guterre and Carpentier, 2 young 17-year-old strikers are coming in. They should be brilliant signings for us. Well, Carpentier is coming in next season, sorry. And I think that's all we've made so far. Dirk Proper coming in, he's an attacking midfielder, looks very, very decent. We'll have a better look at him in the season 4 preview. Conrad Lamar has been signed, Castagni's also been signed. As far as players out, there's been no transfers made at the moment. So that is it for today's episode, which is the season 3 review. We'll be back tomorrow for the season 4 preview, and then Monday will be the start of the new Premier League season, and hopefully on that episode or just after, we should be finding out who we have in the Europa League. It's an exciting time to be an Ipswich Town manager right now. I hope you guys are enjoying this journey. Thank God we've made it to Europe. That's a brilliant progression, and it makes us a lot more interesting. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, let me know. If you're not, let me know. Do give this video a like and a thumbs up, and comment and subscribe and all that sort of jazz. It all helps this channel grow. Thanks a lot guys for continuing to watch. I appreciate it so much. Cheers. See you later.